Stephen, the conversation is about corruption in a business, and quite topical right now, given that we finally got that annual results statement out of Steinhoff coming out yesterday. Yet we haven't really seen any action being taken on those who are involved in that scandal. Your views on corruption in business and how, as we enter another administration, we fix this?
Look, I think the first thing is we have to have capacity in the prosecuting authority to deal with corrupt crimes of that kind of nature. They're complex. These are very clever people who devised very devious schemes to make something look like it's not. And I think that until you start putting people in jail, then they'll know they can't get away with it. And it's not putting in, some of the ineffective people in jail. They are leaders of these processes, and they need to be put away. And I think that until we start doing that as a country, and that's probably what frustrates a lot of people, is there has been no consequence for corruption generally for a long period of time.
And I mean, I think many people are hoping now that with the current SARS Commissioner, Edward Kishwitsa, who was quite instrumental in heading up that illicit financial flows unit in his previous time at SARS, that we could see, more of that kind of behavior being curbed. Yeah. But to talk to me a little bit, Stephen, about what motivates it. I mean, we look at you business people, you've got the money, you've got the lash houses here in Houghton. I mean, what motivates such corruption?
I think, there will always be a percentage of people that are inherently corrupt. That's it. Now, the consequences of corruption will determine whether they commit a corrupt act, the governance and the processes around them. So sometimes in business you'll have a very charismatic leader, and that very charismatic leader will, rule by fear, very autocratic, and no one challenges. So people in organizations, the culture of organizations are exceptionally important, so that there is a question, there is challenge, there is governance. Those processes become very, very important, because if you corrupt at the top, then it starts filtering all the way through, as we saw with our country. So, there are people who will be inherently corrupt. Yeah. It's just a question of whether they're activated. In fact, we brought a guy to one of our conferences a few years ago, a guy, Ricardo Semler, Brazilian, and he said 10% of people are likely to have some form of corrupt or dishonest tendency. Now, they won't all activate it. Yeah. And that's what he's saying is the factory setting of a human being.
Right. I mean, Stephen, in terms of the corruption, it looks like an unfortunate culture that has been allowed to grow in South Africa, and I'm dealing with it. Currently, we do know that President Ramaphosa is going to win. Quite questionable, a few people that he did mention that would join him on his cabinet, people who have been alleged to have been involved in corrupt activities. So you've got a government that right now isn't working hard on holding those who are corrupt to account. Therefore, I mean, do you trust that it's going to be any different in the next 5 years?
I'm hopeful. I think that what we've seen since President Ramaphosa became president, he has appointed a number of commissions. I understand he's created a special court to deal with some of these charges very in a speedy way. Obviously, he's appointed a new public prosecutor. I'm hopeful that she appoints strong people to operate with her, and that she starts taking action against corruption, because the only way you really kill it off is if people understand that there's a consequence. And it really is very, very important to start taking action and putting people away. And I think that's the difference that we, as members of our society, want to really see.
So the president looking to raise some 1.2 trillion rands in investments in South Africa over the next 5 years. To what? Is it 1.4 trillion. Oh, I forget that you're a man who operates and is used to operating in multi-currencies. Let's do your dollars. How confident, to what degree will cultivating a culture in which corruption is not tolerated, in which there is accountability, whereby business people and government officials go to jail, help the president in getting more money into this country?
No, certainly it helps, because people want to know that when they invest, they're going to get their money back, or that their property rights are secure. and that the environment is conducive to investment. So those are very important aspects. Obviously, we need a business-friendly environment, because if we don't have a business-friendly environment, then we're not going to get the kind of investment he's looking for, because people want growth. It's no point us growing at below 1% per annum. In fact, the lack of growth in the last 9 years or 10 years has really cost our society dramatically. If you take what it's cost us in terms of GDP, it's over R1 trillion. What does that cost Tito in terms of revenue? 280 billion. His deficit was 250 billion. Can you imagine what he could have done with the extra money to help deal with the kinds of issues that we have with infrastructure, with delivery of services, with all those things? So you need an economy to grow. A growing economy that generates GDP, creates jobs, and enables government to get capacity to deliver services. So those are our challenges as a society.
Sure.
And we have gone down the wrong road. We have not been business friendly. We have too many regulations that are anti-business, too many processes that are anti-business, and we're not going to create jobs unless we're business friendly. You can forget about it.
All right. So
when you start talking about land without compensation and all those kind of things, there are other ways to do it. You can deliver land to people in a way where you collaborate with the farming community, where they train and develop the people so that they know what to do with the land. If you give me a piece of land, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's worthless. You have to know how to use the land in an appropriate way, and therefore form a partnership with the farming community. Say, this is not acceptable anymore. You guys can help uplift your community and they will do it.
Stephen, I mean, as one of the pioneers of the CEO initiative, let's give a wish list to the president now. What should he do to create that more friendly business environment so that we can get the kind of growth in the jobs that you're talking of?
Okay, the first thing we have to do is address the capacity of the state. So we have to fix the state-owned enterprises. If we don't fix the state-owned enterprises, you don't fix Eskom. And the task team came out with a recommendation, split it into 3. Okay, fix the financial structure. That can blow the whole country out.
Sure.
So that's his first job, is fix the state-owned enterprises, form a proper alliance, which he has tried to do with business and Labour. Labour needs to back off. Labour needs to change their philosophy from job protection to job creation. That is a big shift in psychology. If they stay with job protection, then you will find that there are no jobs.
Right.
Let's go for job creation. How do we create jobs? Encourage investment, and which is the president is trying to do. But make sure that the environment, that the capacity of the state functions.
Stephen, we are going to have to leave it there.